everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we're going to be doing a spiritual reading. There's so much going on right now, especially with American politics and true crime. So I made a list here. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to be reading on. We're going to roll a dice and see what number, whatever the dice rolls, is what we're going to be focusing on in this reading. So let's do our protection prayer. Dear Spirit, I ask that you protect everyone that's watching this video. I ask that you protect my channel. I ask that you surround us with your golden light and protect us as we are definitely in some interesting times. Amen. All right, so let's roll some dice here. So we have Erica K, Charlie Kirk's wife. There's some interesting energy there that I would kind of like to dive into a little bit. There's GOP, power struggles. There's MAGA, fractions. Jack and Lily's spiritual lessons. I would like to do a reading on this at some point because there is a lot of mystery here. And I'm kind of going to come back from the backhand and kind of do a reading to see what that case spiritual lesson is for the collective, because we can get a lot of good information. Michael Wolff was a journalist, a reporter, that had tight connections with Epstein, and some of the email dump that has happened over this last week, he actually had lots of emails between Michael Wolff and Epstein. So I would kind of like to see what that energy is about. Melody is a little girl that has gone missing in California. They're not exactly sure. It was like mom took a road trip, and during that road trip, this little girl went missing. So there's a picture of her. If you have any information on her or see her around, the tip line is 805-681-4150. All right, let's just dive right in here and let's see what Spirit has to share with us. Number 2, the GOP power struggles. That's interesting. Well, grab your popcorn because I believe my intuition says that there is going to be a lot of power struggles in the GOP in the next year or so of, Congressman Green, Grinder Mike Johnson, J.D. Vance and Trump and all that stuff. And I think it really has to do with a lot of, what happens to Trump. Because I think that's kind of going to be the interesting. If Trump stays in office for all 4 years, I think it's going to be quite interesting in the 2028 election. So let's just grab our true crime deck here and let's see here. I think the first question is let's ask the question. Let's ask it. Let's just get to it. Will Trump still be in office for all 4 years? For all 4 years. Okay. All right, and let's roll our little dice here. Okay, we want 5 cards off of this. So that's kind of a lot. So there has to be a lot of information coming. Okay. Spirit, will Trump still be in office? Well, will Trump be in office for all 4 years as the President of the United States? May I please have 5 cards? And I can see that there's a little bit of a hiccup here because I got one card not even belong to this deck in this deck. So let's just remove that. We have a hitchhiker when it comes to decks, but that's okay. All right, we're in good shape now. All right. Let me split this deck here. Let's get the energy going here. All right. Spirit, is President Trump going to still be in office? We have 2 cards. We have... Okay. Can I have 3 more cards? 3 more cards from the True Crime deck. That's interesting cards. Can I have 3 more cards? There's 1 card. Interesting. And I'm going to take this card. And I'm going to put the rest back. Can I have 1 more card, Spirit? 1 more card. There we go. Okay. Those are some interesting cards. Definitely some interesting energy there. Very interesting kind of passion. Interesting. So, make sure you guys can see the cards. So, the first card is the dating card. Now, obviously, Trump is the president. He's not messing around. But I think what this card represents to me, and please leave a comment if you see something different. But to me, it almost looks like they're looking around. They're seeing the opportunity. And when I say that, it's the GOP. To me, it looks like they're dating. And when I'm saying they're dating, they're trying to see the prospects. They're trying to, and that could be simply dating with the idea, well, what is the beneficial for the party as a whole? Is it better to have him in office now, or is it better to have him exit? And that could be naturally, that could be the great forever box, it could be impeachment. So I think that's what they're really they're weighing it out right now. Serial killer. Well, serial killer means that there's a series of deaths, and that could simply be, doesn't mean that there's any threat towards F-45 or F-47. It just could mean that there are serial deaths that's going to hurt his presidency, being a president. What I mean by that is, for example, we're seeing it right now. We are witnessing how his administration is quickly dying. The tariffs shot down. The Epstein files putting a big dent in his, becoming being a president. Foreign policies not going so well for him. There's a lot of things that are coming up, and it's not really being beneficial to his being a president. It's like his administration kind of started off with a lot of negative energy, and it seems to me that this is not just going to end. The Epstein email dump is not the last of what's going to be hurting him. There are going to be lots of different situations that are going to be arising, and it is going to be hurtful. I think another thing that the GOP is also looking for is a way to really kind of heal the country. There has been a lot of division with MAGA, and they're seeing it hurting them more than helping them. So, for example, I think is, kind of coming back to being more moderate as a Republican Party, not being so, uh, I guess I want to say, I wouldn't call them radical. That's the word I'm trying to come up with. Is they're very radical, and they kind of want to bring some healing to the country, and they're trying to. They have a lot on their plate right now. They have a president that's not really bringing great um, great news to their party, and I think that they're ready to dump him. I mean, when I say dump them, they're ready to like distance themselves as much as possible from them, because there's a lot of serious serial events that are happening in his administration that is hurting the Republican Party as a whole. Now, this is very interesting to me. We have the card fake death. So, for this card, I don't know what that means. Is this one of the things I was thinking to, and this is what kind of brought to my attention. So, there's a lot of health issues right now with F-47. He's struggling right now. I guess he was on the news, and he was on Air Force One, and an interviewer said, "So with your MRI, you passed with passed with flying colors. What areas were they, looking at in your MRI?" And he looked at her and goes, "Well, I always talks like, the doctor said I was the greatest, and I'm the best health, and if I've ever seen," and all this stuff. And the reporter said, "Well, what part of the body were they looking at?" And he's like, "I don't know." And, excuse me. And I was like, you know what? I wouldn't be shocker if there is a lot of heat that happens with the Epstein files, and if he is all over the Epstein files, and he is connected to the Epstein files, in a very deep way, I could easily see them pulling the 25th Amendment, and they could say that he's not being fit for a president. He has, early signs of dementia, and he's sick, and he's not doing well, and he's stepped down as president, and that we can't prosecute him with the Epstein files because he's not even fit to be president. So, oops, he's sick. And that kind of falls with the energy of the fake death. I could imagine, like the the accident, quote, assassination that took place. I could see something of that nature. So let's see what happens with that. It's kind of interesting in the crime of passion. So, I think this has to do with his connections to the Epstein files. It's definitely showing that there is definitely some energy that is going to be continuing to carry out through his administration when it comes to the Epstein files. And it's a crime of passion. And I think that that's what it looks like it's highlighting to me. I think that's definitely going to be the factor. Okay? So it seems like the energy is not 100% clear that Trump will be, it's like clear as mud, really. I mean, what did we find out through that pulling those cards? Not too much. I think that the GOP is dating, looking at multiple scenarios. They're seeing that this is a problem. There is a lot of, let's call it negative energy with this administration. And the Republicans are kind of like, what do we do? We have the situation that's happening in Washington is really affecting the country. We don't want another blue wave to hit us. And the people of the United States, they have a big voice. And we have to do some healing. It looks like, it kind of looks like, all right, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I don't think he's going to be the president for the next 3 years. I'm going to go out on a limb, and that's what I'm going to say. I think that there's going to be, and it's not just going to be the Epstein files. There's going to be other situations that are coming up with his administration. And the GOP knows that the country needs to get some healing done so it doesn't destroy their party. And this could be simply, and this shows that a lot of what's happening. I mean, come on here, people. I'm sorry. I'm going to say this. And if anyone's part of the Republican Party, you can disagree with me. But I'm sorry. He's a felon. What do you expect? What do you expect? I mean, I'm sorry. I've had many jobs. Every job that I've had to have a criminal background check. No DUIs, okay? No theft, no violence, no nothing. And I'm a nobody, okay? I'm a nobody. And I've had, some of these jobs have been pretty low paying jobs, okay? I'm not the president of the United States, okay? I can't be a felon, okay? I have to clean background check. And for the United States, what do we expect? I mean, I'm sorry. You can say, oh, well, it's a Democrat hoax. He was prosecuted. He was found in the court of law in the United States. He's a felon. That's what you get when you get a felon in the White House. And I think they're kind of regretting their mistakes. And they're dating with new opportunity. Okay? So, I guess that's what we can find. I guess that's what that reading tells me. Okay? So, with that, let's see what the GOP plans to do. So, So now we know that there's a possibility of F-47 not being in power for the whole term. What kind of power grabs are they going to play? Let's see. So, let's see here. What's next? Where do we go from here? I don't know. Let's see here. What message do they... All right. I'm trying to think here. All right. Well, let's just ask that question. Will JD become vice president? Will JD, because the vice president now, will JD become president? Because I think that truly affects a lot of, I think that really does affect the energy of the GOP. Okay, let's roll our dice here. 6 cards, that's like 3. All right, 3 cards. I'm like, will J.D. Vance be the next president? Will J.D. Vance take over for Trump in Trump's term? Three cards, Spirit. My hands are getting really, really hot right now. I can feel that the energy is really pretty strong as I mix these cards. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how strong this energy is. Okay, there we go. And I think these are perfect 3 cards. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. Let's see here. The first card. Oh my goodness. The Heart. With needles inside of it. Oh my. 4 needles. In. Okay. Interesting. Wow. Yeah. So, so part of doing tarot readings, you know, if I just got this card, you know, by itself, and I would be like, someone's going to stab you in the heart. It's going to hurt. It's going to be a betrayal. It's going to be a deliberate act of harm. Okay? And that's all I could pretty much say. And then this says a protection, a fighting, using your own your own wisdom. Okay? But when I got this card that came out, this is going to sound really bad, but take a look at that card. This character right here kind of gives the image of F-47, okay? And the dark creature that's hanging around gives me the image of JD. And it looks like to me that there is a deliberate action that is taking place right now where they're doing betrayal towards F-47. They're manifesting against action towards F-47. And what's really interesting is it depends on what channel you listen to. You hear it's, oh, the Democrats did the email dump. Or you hear the Republicans did the email dump. I don't know who did the email dump. But to me, it looks like this dating idea is in play at this moment. Okay, and JD Vance is coming into position of power. And he's sneaking along. And JD Vance is, in my opinion, highly involved in the planning of dropping serial killing of this administration. I would like to have 3 cards of confirmation to really kind of make sure that I'm on the right track on this, okay? It seems to me that it's happening like today. Okay, I'm going to split my cards. Okay, I shuffled them. Can I have 3 cards of confirmation? Will J.D. Vance be taking over for F47. There's one card. Can I have 2 more cards, Spirit? One more card. I'm going to just take the top card on this one, because that one's the kind of the one that kind of flew out, and then the rest of them just kind of followed with it. All right, so let's see confirmation cards. Ooh. The candle, burning in the midnight oil. They are working on this hard. The dove, the messenger, and the rat. God. And the rat. So, yes, we are on the right track, and we know who the rat is. JD. And they are turning, if Trump knew, I wonder if Trump knows. I wonder if he knows that the Republicans are now turning on him. Like, I just wonder, like, if he knows what's happening. I wonder. Okay, so they are burning the midnight oil on their plan of betrayal. They have a message. They're the ones that are dropping the information. You know, they're doing this because they think this is going to bring peace. And they are turning on him. Yep. Oh, wow. You guys know I'm not the biggest fan of F47. But, you know, anyone, you know, you never want anyone to be, I mean, how do I say this? It's like compassion. You know what I mean? It's like, you would never want to be in that situation. And when you see someone that's in a bad situation, you kind of feel bad for them. But F47 is kind of his worst enemy. And he's the enemy within. And so you kind of don't feel bad for him, but you kind of do feel bad for him. And I hate that sometimes because he's an individual just like everyone else. Has he made a lot of decisions? Yes, he has. Does he deserve what he's getting? Oh, yeah, he does. But at the same time, you just kind of go like, oh, man. Like, why? You know, and I feel like I've been saying this a lot in my life where, you know, we had the government shut down. It's like, oh, man, why? Like, there's such an easier way of doing this. Like, why? You know? So, let's see what... So, according to today, on November the 15th, this is the energy that we are looking at. Things can shift. I think we should come visit this maybe in a week or two to see what, you know, the energy is pretty much the same. Spirit, can you give me, let's see here, one card, a final message. What is your final message about the GOP power struggles to kind of give our listeners peace of mind when our government is falling apart? Oh, Spirit, please give us a good message to... Okay. Can I have one card, please? One final message you have for us as we are living in this disaster. And I don't know if I think it's a disaster, but maybe it isn't. It's all about lessons and learning and healing and growing. Can I have one card, please? Like today? here we go. All right, I think it's this card. So, exactly what we're saying. It's about our dreams. And it's about our dreams, and we're facing the reality. So, grab your popcorn, watch the you know what hit the fan as it's coming down. But as this goes down, and you're watching the drama, and our dreams falling apart. And I mean, yeah, it is, we have this, we don't want our president to be a part of any scandal. We don't. We don't want, our country to be stained. We don't want this. And our dreams of what we thought America, and I think a lot of what's going to come out about the Epstein files are going to be really opening our eyes of leadership and Democrats, Republicans, our president. And I think it's going to break our dreams, but it's something that we are going to learn from, and we are going to put in laws where a felon can't be president anymore. I hope. God, I hope so. And we need to be there at that table, and we need to start dreaming of what we want America to look like for the coming years. What kind of president are we hoping for as, as this time with Trump comes to an end? Personally, I almost feel like we need to do a reading on this. I feel like we need a younger president with newer ideas, because the world is not the same in 1980. It isn't. We have a lot of new technology that's coming out, and we're going into the information era, and I think that's more of where America should be going with our economics. I think that we need to start dreaming of what we want to see for our America to be. With that, I hope that you all stay tuned. Please put any comments down that you would like to share. Please share your intuition. I believe the veil is very thin right now. And this is our channel and our community. And thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.